In this video, we are going to cover the main screen of Tyler Sys 360. We are going to go over all of the buttons and features that are found just on the main navigation page, the home page of Sys 360. One thing to note in this video, I am in a sample Sys instance, so this is all fake data. And the other thing to note is because this is not our actual Sys 360 that we use, there may be some differences on buttons, as in there might be a button that we actually don't have, or there might be a button we have that this sample does not have. But I just want you to know that the ideas behind it will all be the same. So let's get started on this home page. So from the home page, the big sections you need to look at are the left-hand side. We have some options here of quick links you can get to. Right in the center is really where you're going to find all of your buttons to get to taking attendance, to get to your different classes. And then the bar up top has a couple different features as well. And I'm going to go through those. And I'm not going to get into all of these because we're going to actually have separate videos on things like communication log and behavior referrals and attendance and that stuff. So this is really just the homepage and just what's on it. So as I started to say on the left over here, there is these different buttons, and what these buttons do are going to take you exactly to that option. So if you need to search for a student to get some information, you would click on this student summary button. If you want to send an email to a parent through Sys 360, you would click Send Email. And most of these buttons over here, what they're going to do is they're going to actually prompt a student search. So I will demonstrate that quickly. If I do, let's say the student summary, for example, it's going to open up a new page that basically gives me a list of my students, or I can search for one right there. So that's what almost all of these buttons are going to do, because it's going to then want you to look for a student. The difference there being data query, which there will be a follow-up video all about data queries. In the center of your screen, you will see here you have a full list of what you teach. One thing to note up here is in the top right corner, if you don't see the class you're looking for, perhaps it's an A day, B day thing, or you just need to see a different semester, you can always click on semester 1 and it will change to what semester 1 courses were. But let's say we're in semester 2 now, so I'm going to click semester 2 and I'll see those courses. So it is kind of helpful to know that that's there, or you can just leave it on today and it will give you the most up to date. Okay. At the very top of this, you can see this is where you can find the mass email button. So the email button over here on the left, the send email, that would be to one person individual. This mass email is going to walk you through exactly how to send a mass email to one or all of your classes, and there will be a video on that. And really, there's not a ton more on this that is necessarily something you're going to click on all the time that we can't go through. One of the things I did want to point out, though, is the legend here. You can click on this to show you what do all these mean, all these indicators, and I can just explain those briefly. So attendance today, basically if it's red, it means you need to take attendance, and this is actually a button. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to the attendance for that period right there. And then just know, to get back in Sys, it's always good to use your home button rather than your back arrow. So I'm going to click on this little home button here. But this is gonna tell me I need to do attendance today. So just to demonstrate that, if I click this again, there's actually a perfect attendance here. I'm going to click that. You should see now on my home screen that I will get a P there, that attendance is taken. So good to see there. And again, there's going to be a video specifically on attendance. There is grading due. Basically what this is showing, if it's red, it means that an assignment a due date of an assignment has passed, and it's basically just giving you a notification that there's something you probably need to grade, and then the check mark means you're all caught up. And report card grades will be activated when the report card cycle opens and you need to actually put in report card grades. So that's kind of a couple of those indicators there. And then over to the right here of every class, you also have these 3 dots, and these do give you a couple really good options here. Just to note, you can quickly get to your attendance. You can quickly get to your gradebook. You can also click on the grading due button, or you can click here and you can see there's some different options there as you go down. And again, a few of these will have some separate videos. And then finally, well, no, not finally, actually, I have a couple more things I want to show you. On the very top of the page, this is an important one. If you teach in multiple sites, so if you're a teacher that has multiple buildings, this drop down right in the middle is how you could sort that. So if I click down here, it's actually going to switch my site around to the other building I might teach at. So here I can click Edwards High School again, and then it'll bring me right back. Same thing here for the year. If you needed to go back to see a past year, for whatever reason, you can change the year there as well. This button right here is the Search Student. This is essentially the same button as down here for Student Summary. They give you a lot of different ways to make the same things happen. Okay, there. So as we kind of continue on, this is a Reports button, and we will have a video on reports to show you. Favorites and links are something, I'll talk a little bit about favorites here in just a moment, because I do think favorites could be helpful. Links is literally just a way to add links to like external websites if you want to do that. And I'll explain that here in just a moment. And then finally on the user, you can actually click this, and this is where you'll find some settings. And then you can actually log out there when you click on the little people icon. Okay, one menu though that I did want to show is this orange button, Settings. If I click on Settings, you can actually change the layout of your SIS 360 to make it work for you. And so you can see here's the default with left tiles. You can actually make it full screen to where there's no tiles. You can move them to the right. You can change the layout how you want. I think most people tend to keep it like this. However, there are a couple changes here you can make that I think might be kind of helpful. So if buildings use the alerts in SIS, one of the things you can do, you can take these cards and you can drag them over into your SIS homepage. So I'm going to put that one there. There's actually 2 others here that I think, feel free to play with these. You can always take them out. If I click on alerts and drag it over, it goes away. Feel free to play, but I'm going to show you a couple that I do think are helpful. I'm going to actually bring Student Search over, and then I'm also going to bring my favorites over quickly, and I'm just going to show you, and you can rearrange these however you might like, and I'm going to hit Save. Now you'll notice now on my screen I have alerts, favorites, and student search down here. So how do we customize these? How's this work? Because it's blank. The first one you don't have to do anything with. The student search is the one I really like because I can very quickly come down here and type in a student. I'm just going to give it a last name search here. But you can see I very quickly just brought up all my kids in a student search with the M for the start of their last name. So it's basically always there. Is it any different than this button? No, it's not. This button's going to take me to the exact same place, and I could do the same search here. However, it's just right here on my homepage, so I can think that might be pretty helpful. Favorites is kind of a cool one. I'm going to come back up here to this star. If I click on favorites, and I can either add the current page or I could click edit favorites. When I click edit favorites, you actually have a lot of different options here to do things you want in here, like for different reasons you might use this. And this is where everybody's is a little different how they like to do these things. But one thing, so as I'm going down here, perhaps there is in here, maybe I want assignments and assessments. I want those in my favorites. Basically what that's going to do, if I click on assignments, it's going to automatically open a student search like we've seen before. But then as soon as I click on that student, it's going to take me right to their assignments. Now, obviously there's no assignments for this student in here right now, but it's basically, instead of me having to go through my grade book, same thing with assessments. I'm going to click assessments and I was still on this student, but you can see here, here's all of those assessments that are loaded into SIS. So if that's something, just think of that as, if there's something you know you're constantly going to click on or you like to use, you can always do that in My Favorites. And that's just, again, to show you how to set that up, click on Settings. And then all you have to do is click them, drag them in or out, however you like, and then click Save, and your home page will be customized with those. So nothing, you don't ever have to change those, or you can kind of build SIS 360 to work for you a little bit. So hopefully that is helpful. This is just kind of navigating the home page of SIS 360.